Okay. So in the last class, we did till this dhatu, gad vyaktayam vachi. The next dhatu is atagatau, which means to move, to go. Atati yad bhavan anne kananam in Gopi Geet. So that atati is from atagatau dhatu. So atati, atatah, atanti, atyate, atyate, atyante, like that. Now bhuteshwara, at plus dip. And now see, generally we have we had been doing dhatus which began with Vishnu Janas. This is the first time we are facing a dhatu which begins with a Sarveshwara. So in Bhuteshwara, Bhutesh, Ajita, we apply that sutra. Dhatu Puravat Bhuteshwara, Bhutesh, Ajiteshu. So, but when we have a dhatu beginning with Sarveshwara, then we apply the sutra. Sarveshwaradir Vrishnindrot Prasangamatre. A dhatu that begins with the Sarveshwara takes Vrishnindra whenever At is applicable. So whenever At is applicable, which means Bhuteshwara, Bhutesha, and Ajita. So if we have a dhatu beginning with Sarveshwara, then that dhatu, the Sarveshwara in the beginning, becomes or takes Vrishnindra. So we apply Vrishnindra. So A becomes A, Advay se A. And then we apply dhatu Purvamat. And of course the Shavtarik. So ultimately we get A only. And then Shab Krishna Dhatuke, and so we get Atat, Atatam, Atan, Ityadi. Then At plus Dit Bhutesha, Dhatupur, same Sarveshwar Adir Vrishnindrot Prasanga Matre, Dhatu Purvamat, and Asti, so Sir Bhuteshe, Itram Dhatuke, Asti Sibhyam It Dipsipo, Itah Silopo Iti, the Shavtarik. So you get Atit, Atishtam, Atishu, you can do that. Then At plus Nal, Adhokshaja. At plus Nal. So we apply the Sutra Dhatu Dvachanam Adhokshara Sanangyangshu Sarveshwara Paryantasya Adi Bhagasya Anarasya Dirvachanam. So we reduplicate A. So A is the Nara. So here we apply the Sutra 361. Naradir Ramasya Trivikramaha. The initial Arama of a Nara becomes Trivikrama. The initial Arama of a Nara becomes Trivikrama. So here we have Arama, and there is only one letter, so there is nothing like initial or something. So A becomes Trivikrama, right? And then 362 says Tasma Nut Dvivishnu Jana Dhatu. And Nut is inserted after this Trivikrama A when a Dhatu that has two Vishnu Janas follows. Like here, we don't have a Dhatu having two Vishnu Janas, so we don't apply 362. But if we have Narayana, like Dhatu having two Vishnu Janas, then after doing Trivikrama, we apply a Nut or insert Nut in between. So in this case, we don't, because we don't have dhatu with two Vishnu Janas. So we simply do the Shavtarik. Sorry, before that we apply Uddhavaramasya Vrishnindra Singhe, and then the Shavtarik. So we get Art, Art, Artatuhu, Artuhu, Ityadi. Yeah, that was it. Then the next dhatu is Radha Vilekhane, to scratch, split, dig. Radati, Radatah, Radanti, Radyate, Radyate. Adhokshaja, Rad plus Nal. Dhatur Tiruchanam Adhokshaja Sanangyangshu. So Ra, Uddhavaramasya Vrishnindra Singhe. So we get Rarad. Now, when we have 1.2, Rath plus Atus, Adhokshaja Parapada, 1.2. So we have the Sutra. This is also an important Sutra. Adeshahina Naradyaksharasya Dhatura Sanyukta Vishnu Jana Madhyasya Ramasya etvam naradarshanam cha kapiladhokshate saithali cha. Now this sutra says, if a dhatu has the following two characteristics, then its medial changes to a and its nara disappears. When a kapila adhokshara pratyaya or thal with it follows. So basically, this is something new here, only for adhokshara. So we delete the nara and the of the narayana of the main dhatu becomes a when there is kapila adhokshara pratyaya following or thal with it follows. So dhatu should have these two characteristics. What are they? The initial varna of its nara has not undergone any replacement. That is one condition. And second condition is it has two Vishnu janas that are not part of a satsanga. Like in dhatu radh, we are doing radh. Radh has two Vishnu janas, ra and the, and they are not part of a satsanga. And the initial varna of its nara, and there is no replacement in ra. It's natural. So what will happen is rat plus atus. So we do the reduplication. Okay. Now atus is kapila adhokshaja. It is adhokshara pratyay and it is also kapila. Kapila by asanyoga dalita adhokshara kapila. By that sutra. Atus is kapila. Thus, ra will be deleted, the nara is deleted, and the a of rad becomes a. So we get redatus sararamayur redatuhu. Redatuhu. Nara is deleted and the a of Narayana becomes a Rama. Okay, so you go through it again. This is a bit longer sutra. Yeah. Similarly, reduhu, reditha, ityadi. Yeah, that's it. Then the next dhatu is another avyakta shabde. Like we say nad brahma or the word nad, ninad. So that comes from this another avyakta shabde. Dhatvadir no naha. Earlier we had dhatvadir shah sah. Shah became sa. Now if any dhatu begins with na, yes, bro.
Through this word, like we say gum, and then there is something more written after each dhatu. So all the time, like for this nad, shabde, uh, or the earlier one. So
Hmm.
we have to remember the only first part or the complete one.
The complete. Yeah, complete.
But we do declension of only the first earlier part.
Yes, yes. Actually, the second part is only like
Meaning,
the meaning, the extending meaning in Sanskrit, the meaning of the dhatu. Dhatvadir no naha. So the initial na of a dhatu changes to na, dantyana, tatha dadhana. Sarve nadayo nopadesha nri nriti nardi nandi nakki nathi nadhi nati varjam. Now, earlier we studied about shopadeshas, which means dhatus beginning with sh and then they turn into sa by dhatwade sha sa. Now it's nopadesha. Dhatus listed beginning with na rama, na. And then we apply dhatwade no na and then na becomes na. So all dhatus beginning with na are nopadeshas. However, the following dhatus are exceptions to this rule. These are exceptions which are not Nopadeshas. They originally begin with Dantyana only, the Na Rama in the Dhatu part. So Nad Dhatu is there. Um, so dhatu adar no nah shab krishna dhatu ke, so you get nadati, nadati, nadatah, nadanti, ityadi. And if we have any upendra prefix before the dhatu, and if that sutra rasha riddhebhyo nasana is, you know, is also, it's fulfilling the prerequisite of that sutra, then that na can again change into na. So here example is pra plus anad. So it becomes pranadati. Rasha riddhebhyo nasana by that one. Pranadati. Then nanada nedatuhu. That previous sutra adeshahina is also applicable here. Nedatuhu nedu, like we did redatuhu reduhu. Okay. Then ardha dhatu. Ardha gatau yachane, which means to go, to move, or to beg. Yes, bro. You're muted.
So the rules earlier one will directly make the other forms. It's only this one sutra we need to replace
Yes,
the
yes,
earlier
yes.
sutra.
So ardati, ardatah, ardanti, ardat. This ard is like at dhatu we did, you know. And then when adhokshara comes, ard plus null. So we do reduplication. Then naradera ramasya trivikrama. The of nara becomes trivikrama, like we did in at dhatu. And then after that, tasman nud dvi vishnu jane dhatu. After making trivikrama, like the nara, if in the narayana, in the dhatu, we have two vishnu janas following, then we will insert nut between nara and narayana. So yes, we have a dhatu with two vishnu janas, so we will insert nut. So we get anarda, anarda, anardatuhu, anarduhu, ityadi. Okay. Okay, that's all. This next one is a bigger dhatu. Let's do some shlokas.
So for remembering this, like we can remember sutra and then tables, but exactly to always remember that this sutra is applied to this verb. Uh, so is there some more tricks or something?
So when we were studying, the rule was we had to write, like solve each form like an equation. And while solving, we were supposed to write all the sutras each time. It doesn't matter if it is being repeated or not. So, for example, Ishwara Harimitra ka Ramnebhya Pratyayarinte Sasya. I must have written it at least 1,000 times. So I have five, six, seven notebooks, registers, you know, where I did two chapters only, chapter two and chapter three. Because chapter two and three only, we have to make forms. And then after that, it's all theory, chapter four onwards. So that's how I think it works. Uh, that's why you should try to do the sadhan practice, making forms, especially those with new rules. Like, for example, today we did this Adeshahina Naradyaksharasya, right? Once you think you have mastered a rule, then you can skip doing it again. But the new ones, we should definitely, like, try to do and write at least 10, 15, 20 times, at least. Then what will happen? Not only will we remember the sutra, but we will also get to know the exact meaning of each word of the sutra. For example, Adeshahina Naradyaksharasya sutra says a lot of things. So it's not possible to understand in one or two, you know, to go. So 5, 6 times, 7 times, and then we understand each aspect of the sutra. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 1, I don't remember the shloka. Hmm. Shloka number 6. द्रौण्यस्त्र विप्लुष्टमिदं मदङ्गं सन्तानबीजं कुरु पाण्डवानां जुगोपकुक्षिं गत आत्तचक्रो मातुश्च मे यः शरणं गताय. Parikshit Maharaj is saying, Yah will begin with Yah. That's the Karta. Yah Attachakrah. Yah Attachakrah. Okay, let's begin. I mean, we can break it into, you know, small sentences. Kuru Pandavanam Santan Bijam Idam Dronyastra Viplushtam Madangam. Jugopa. Yah Jugopa. So, one who, Yah Jugopa. Jugopa means protected. Who protected the Santan Bij, the seed, because for Kurus or Pandavas, only Parikshit Maharaj was the only, what do you say, offspring or the Bij remaining. All were dead. So he was Santana Bijam. Santana Bija also means that he was the only seed who could uh, take the the lineage forward. Just like a seed turns into plant, tree, and then tree gives another seeds, and then it spreads and spreads. So that's why Santana Bijam. Santana Nam Bijam. Santana Nam Bijam. 6.3. He was a seed of the coming generations in Kuru and Pandava dynasty. So, and who was he? He was Parikshit Maharaj himself, Idam Madangam, and his body, his limbs were burning, Viplushtam, by the weapon, the Brahmastra, uh, used by Drauni. That's the son of Drona. That's Ashwatthama. So Shri Krishna protected such uh, Parikshit Maharaj. How? Atta Chakraha. He had he held Chakra, Sudarshan Chakra, uh, in his hand, and Kukshim Gataha. He entered into the womb of whom? Matuhu Chame, me Matuhu, of my mother, Uttara. But why will Krishna do so? Because Sharanam Gatayaham, me Matuhu. Because my mother, she actually went and took shelter, refuge of Shri Krishna when the Brahmastra was killing her son, uh, Parikshit Maharaj. So that was the Anvaya. So Gataya is 6-1 and it's an adjective of Matu 6-1. Sharanam Gataya me Matu. Okay. Viryani tasyakhila deha bhajam antar bahi purushakal रूपैः प्रयच्छतो मृत्युमुतामृतं च माया मनुष्यस्य वदस्व विद्वन्. O hey Vidwan, O learned person, sage, अखिल देह भाजाम. अखिल देह भाजाम अंतर बहिः पुरुष काल रूपैः मृत्युम अमृतम च प्रयच्छतः माया मनुष्यस्य तस्य च वीर्याणि वदस्व, which means, O Vidwan, O learned person, sage, please tell me about his, Krishna's Viryani, his pastimes, his leelas. Now, what more about him? Then the adjectives are given. He's Maya Manushya. He's not a normal mortal being. He's immortal. But Manushim Tanum Ashritah. He has appeared like a normal human being, but he's not. That's why Maya Manushya. Here, Maya does not mean that he's illusory or false. He's true, but Manushim Tanum Ashrita. So he's Maya Manushya and he gives Prayachata 6-1. What does he give? He gives Mrityum, he gives death, and he gives Amritam, eternity. How? So he has two forms. One is Purusha Roop and one is Kala Roop. Purusha Rupas are incarnations, ityadi, Paramatma and so on. And Kala is the time factor. So through his Kala Rupa, he gives Mrityu. And through his Purusha Rupa, he gives Amrita, eternity. When one, does bhakti and all. And then Akhila Deha Bhajam Antar Bahi. And he is the one who resides inside and outside of all the living entities who have taken shelter in material bodies. Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha Ito Yatayami Tada. Bahir Nrsimho Hridaye Nrsimho. The same concept. Bahir and Hridaye. Antar Bahi. Antar Bahir Avasthitam. So please tell Vadaswa, the Viryani of such Krishna, who is Maya Manushya and who gives all this, and who resides in and out. Okay, so we'll stop here. Please memorize the forms, and today's 13th. So I'll be traveling to Mayapur on 17th. That's Saturday. So we'll have to skip on Saturday. So we'll do next week only then. So please uh, do the memorization of the forms, the sutras, and in the next session, I'll listen to the any of the forms of any of the dhatus we have done till now. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.